So we're here at the WNDU studios with LNS.
Yeah,
So
most
first and
definitely.
foremost, I just want to congratulate you on the birth of your newborn.
Yeah. Well, actually, he ain't even born yet. He gonna be born August 12th. That's his due date. So yeah.
So
Most definitely.
just tell me a little bit about fatherhood. Just what's that experience been like?
I mean, fatherhood, man, is amazing. You know, you might get some people that always say that and it sound cliche, but it is really not. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing, really, to be able to have, you know, these little humans love you unconditionally through whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like no judging, no, you know what I'm saying? No nothing. They just love you unconditionally, no matter what. You know, you be able to teach them and watch them grow and be by their side throughout life, man. It's a blessing, you know what I'm saying? I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world, you know what I'm saying? So.
Right, I feel you on that. You know, I always contemplated. I'm like, nah, man. I feel like I'm only 23. Like I'm way too young. I'm a wait. So just how has that impacted like your grind and your work? Because you know, you're not just working for yourself anymore. Like I am. You're really hustling not for yourself, but for them.
Right. Yeah. That changed it all. I mean, like I always been a go-getter. I always been a hustler and a grinder. You know what I'm saying? But that changed it all. I had my first child, my first daughter, Lyric, when I was 23, you know, and that changed the game. I'm 28 right now. That just changed. She just seeing her born and just witnessing that and being a part of her life since day one like that. I just know I always had to give her more out of life, you know what I'm saying? And it's still a process, you know, it's a never ending process, but like, I've never been selfish. Anyways, you know, but now it's just like, it ain't even about me no more at all. You know what I'm saying? It's about my children, you know, so it changed the game for me.
Right, because you said that changed the game because you was already like a part of it before that. So tell me a little bit about your music before and now kind of at this point, you're like in the next stage of your life right now. So kind of how does that transition been?
Right, man, it's like before I had them, it's certain experiences, you know, after I had them that I put in my music now. It's certain things that I could talk about that I couldn't have talked about previous to having my first child. You know what I'm saying? Like I try not to, I love my children so much, I could talk about them all day, so I gotta stop myself like, nah, you can't put her in this song, you know what I'm saying? Or they'd be in every song, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I try to keep a tight balance, but it's a lot of things that, you know, when I hop in the car, you know, my daughter, Lyric, Daddy, put your song on. Daddy, put your song, like immediately, as soon as I hop in the car, you know what I'm saying? And even that right there is an experience that I could talk about, you know, how much she my biggest fan, and she only 4 years old, you know? I ain't even know that feeling before I had her, you know what I'm saying? So it just changed everything for me, man, you know, with my music going forward. It's like, also, I try to be more, you know, mindful, you know what I'm saying, of, the things I talk about as well, you know what I'm saying, knowing that without being too PG-13, because I still, you know, it's still reality I talk about. I like to call my music reality rap, you know what I'm saying, because I'm going to talk about reality still, but I try to be more mindful, you know, of my content, you know, without sugarcoating anything.
Right, so when it comes to your music, like you said, do you consider yourself, like how would you classify yourself? Would you consider yourself more of a producer, more of a rapper, for an artist? Like how would you describe that?
Man, I'm a artist first and foremost. I started rapping at 8, freestyling, playing around, started writing at 10, got serious really at 10, you know, from then on, but rap has always been my first love. Then I got into producing when I was 12. Man, you know, rapper, producer, entrepreneur. You know, this is my 3P shirt.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the. Like what?
Yeah, 3P, man. It stands for patience, progress, profit. You know, it's just a motto that I go by that I created. You know, you gotta have patience with whatever you're doing. Whatever journey you on, you know, you have patience, you stay consistent, you stay determined, you're gonna make progress. You know, when you make progress, profit gonna come behind it. So that's just the whole gist of that, you know. and I live by that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, shirts available. All you got to do is contact me, hit me up on IG. My IG is at LNS_AON. Hit me up on Facebook. I'm about to put them on our website soon. So yeah. No.
Yeah, so just talking to you, like I get a lot of positive energy, like
Most
a lot
definitely.
of positive vibe, just because you saying like these are the things that I'm grinding not only for myself, for my children, just kind of putting that in my music. So
Definitely.
obviously, who are the people that kind of inspired you, that kind of mentored you, to kind of have that mindset, this focused mentality?
Yeah.
That
I got focus tatted on me, man. That is crazy. You use that word, focus, on my wrist. That's a big word that applies to me. The word focus and progress. Progress is my favorite word, man. But I don't know, man. I had a couple people in my life that kept me rooted, kept me grounded. A few people, you know, a few older mentors, my uncle, older cousin, you know, even the, you know, my squad. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's just naturally I don't have to draw a lot of inspiration from everything else. Even before I had my children, anything, like I was just naturally just driven. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't take, I could just look at, you know, okay, it's like, for instance, like, okay, if my shoes got dirty or something like that when I was a kid, like, okay, and I say, man, when I get older, I never want to have to worry about shoes again. I'm going to make sure that, you know, I grind and be successful to where if I want to buy some shoes, that's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? Even though my mom took care of us and stuff like that, it's just examples like that, you know. You know, we lived in the projects when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? We struggled from time to time, you know, but now, you know, I took that as a child, you know, those experiences as a child, and now, you know, I apply them to my life to where I don't never want to live in the projects again, so I got to grind every day to make sure that never happens, you know. So naturally, you know, I had a few people that, you know, were mentors here and there, you know, but I always just had natural drive in me, you know what I'm saying, from day one, since I was a kid, you know what I'm saying. So
yeah, you brought up your drive. Now let's kind of talk a little bit more about what are you doing right now. So just kind of what are the projects you're working on, like right now, currently, leading up to the release of your newest EP? Right.
Okay. Yeah. So like my newest EP is entitled "Let There Be." It's something that I done had in the vault for a minute. I actually got like 2 more projects in the vault. You know what I'm saying? I just try to work ahead, you know, of time, you know, so I won't ever have to be in a rush to create music. You know what I'm saying? I got about 100 songs in the vault right now, just sitting. Yeah, man. So I just been really focusing on the EP, focusing on, you know, my merchandise, family, of course. You know what I'm saying? My son about to be born, so you know, I haven't released a solo EP since 2017. So it's been a long little gap, you know, a long gap. So after I release Let There Be, I don't plan on taking no more breaks, long breaks like that, you know. I'm gonna be dropping something consistently every 2 to 3 months for sure. Yeah. I gotta go crazy now, you know what I'm saying? Cause 2 years is long enough, you know.
All right, so you already teasing people. You just told them right there. You already got songs on the vault.
Yeah.
Fresh over here. Yeah. You had so many songs.
Yeah, man. I got a lot in the vault for real.
So without going too much further into that, let's kind of talk about the EP that you got coming out soon.
Yeah.
What is the creative process behind that? Is that just you producing, rapping, or you got other people helping behind the scenes?
Nah, great question, man. For Let There Be, it's only 9 tracks on the EP. I produced 7 of them, and then the other 2 tracks were produced by this producer named Yandu. He produces a lot online, but I produce most of the project. You know what I'm saying, myself. You know, like I said, I love producing as well, and I'm trying to, you know, put my producing talent out there more as well, because I'm so in love with producing as well. I make 20 beats and I want to keep all of them, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta like start, you know, pushing more of my beats out. I got a beat store online, so yeah, I produced the whole project. My next project I produced as well. Then the project after that we, you know, finishing up, my brother and my main producer outside of myself, SP, he produced that whole project. I ain't producing nothing on it. He produced the whole thing. Yeah. Ain't no title for that yet. Yeah. So, but we 2 projects away, you know. So yeah, I produced the whole project. Let There Be though, most of it.
So I'm curious, because you said you got all these projects that you got coming out and producing them, and you right here in the area locally. So what do you have to do in order to get like your music broadcast to a wider audience? And I saw you had a concert that wasn't around here.
Nah, it definitely was. I mean, I feel like this, you know, when it comes to artists in the area, you know, we gotta like expand, and we gotta broaden our horizons. You know, I love Elkhart, got love for South Bend, but it's like, you know, when you're a businessman, you got to think about markets, and this market is only so big. You know, you don't want to just stay in one market. You want to like expand as far as you can. I mean, that's the goal, right? You know what I'm saying? So, that's just my advice. You know what I'm saying? Even that applies to me too. You know, so I'm just trying to expand like everyone else. Tap into my resources, tap into the fans, and just keep growing and keep progressing and keep grinding. You know, that's what I'm on. I feel like everybody should be on that as well.
Talk about Let There Be. So what can people expect when they listen to this this tape?
Let There Be, storytelling for sure. You know, I'm definitely got a nice amount of storytelling on it. I don't know, man. Like me as an artist, what people can expect from me as an artist is, like I said, reality rap. Like I think I'm relatable to millions of people around the world because I talk about everyday things, or you know, even if you ain't experienced them, you might know somebody that experienced what I'm talking about. You know, I might not even talk about something that I experienced, but I might tell a story about someone that I know that went through something. You know what I'm saying? So I think like a lot of people just can relate to my music because I'm not talking about unrealistic things, like, or you know, even if they realistic, I'm not talking about things that everyday people don't have. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not talking about like diamonds and Rolls Royces. An everyday person ain't got a Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nobody with a Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying? So personally, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not talking about like materialistic things. I talk about, you know how the person on this block might be struggling, you know, with their parents going through addiction, and you know, he might not know how to deal with it, or this person might took a loss, you know what I'm saying, from you know, a loved one just, you know, left his life, you know, because of senseless violence or something like that, or this person might be talking about, I might be talking about financial struggles. I've had financial struggles before, you know what I'm saying? I come from, right, a lot of people can relate to that, and I'm not shy, or I'm not like, I'm open to talk about that because it's reality. I don't want to talk about nothing else, you know what I'm saying? So I think it ain't one person or one soul on this earth that can't relate to my music just because I'm talking about everyday life. I'm not talking about nothing fictitious or nothing fake or made up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
That's kind of like the two kind of rappers, the two type of lanes. There's usually the more people who's like more storytelling, like J. Cole, like relatable things, and there's people like Lil Pump who like create this image, this like this WWE type of like so raps. Right. Yeah, most definitely. I don't know Lil Pump, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, we in two different lanes, so I know what you're talking about. You know, yeah, definitely, man. So yeah, just tell me a little bit about that. Some artists that you listened to maybe growing up or even now that have inspired you.
Man, I was like 10 bumping Blueprint. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm like the only 10-year-old that's, you know what I'm saying, where we at in Elkhart and Washington Gardens, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's really bumping Blueprint, you know what I'm saying? So, Jay-Z, Pac kicked it off for me, you know what I'm saying? Pac, that's my all-time favorite. Right. You know, now, you know, like Nas too as well. But like now, like, you know, Kendrick, of course, Cole, you know, we all in the same similar lane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all different. I'm not, you know, we don't sound alike, you know what I'm saying? But we all in the same lane. We talking about reality. Man, I don't know, man. I know I was a big Dipset fan growing up too, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's good to have like different.
Yeah.
You know.
Outkast too, you know what I'm saying? I love Outkast growing up. I think I grabbed something from, you know what I'm saying, every artist that I fell in love with when I was a kid and growing up, you know. Cassidy, I used to love Cassidy, Jadakiss, like, you know, I think I took an element from every artist that, you know, that was great in their own respects, you know what I'm saying? So
that's what it is. It's a blueprint. You know, you want to be one of the best. It's usually just taking elements from the people who
definitely
got that influence in order to drive you to that point. So that's what I want to ask next is just kind of where do you see yourself going next? Like, what is your vision going forward? You're releasing this music. You got other ones involved coming out. And you working, grinding every single day. Like, what is it that you're chipping away towards?
Man, I'm in it to do things that nobody has ever done, you know. I'm in it to like I'm in it to like for one, you know what I'm saying, ain't nobody ever made it on a greater scale from our area. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's other talented artists here too, you know what I'm saying? But if I could be the first, that'd be amazing, you know what I'm saying? But if somebody else do it, it really don't matter to me, you know what I'm saying? Long as we get the notoriety that we deserve in Elkhart, in Indiana, you know what I'm saying? I'm just in it to be the greatest I could be, man. You know, to be the GOAT, you know what I'm saying? And for me, you know what I'm saying? And you know, to put my loved ones in better positions in life, to open up doors for people, for real, you know. Man, to touch people with this music, you know what I'm saying? That's what I strive for every day, you know. Loved ones, this music, the fans, to break down barriers, you know what I'm saying, to open up doors, man, you know. Step by step, day by day, to do it bigger than anybody has did it around here, man, to show these kids that, you know, you can be from a small town, in Elkhart, 50,000 people. You know, you ain't gotta be from Atlanta or Chicago or LA. With all due respect to them cities, you know, you ain't just gotta be from a big city. You can be from a small town and make it too. You know, so everything I just said, all in one, man, for real. Yeah.
You already know there's a lot of like young artists right here locally who coming up trying to make music, trying to grind, you know, pop off and break out. And you've been in the game for a little while now, for a minute. So for all the youngins watch this interview, I'm like, man, like I don't know if I'm even making a buzz for myself, or maybe I want to start making music, but really just don't know how to like get my foot in the door type of thing. Like, what advice?
Great question.
Coming up.
My advice, man, that was a great question. My advice would be, man, first of all, perfect your craft. You know what I'm saying? It start with the music, not Instagram. It don't start with Instagram. It don't start with just antics. It don't start with money phones. It don't start, you know what I'm saying? It don't start with all the things that these young rappers and old rappers too. I see older people do it too, but it don't start with the antics in the you know, in the media. It start with your craft. So like hone in on that, perfect your craft. Secondly would be, you know, the business. Learn about the business, learn about royalties, mechanical royalties, learn about publishing, learn about, you know, all these different aspects of the business that people lack knowledge of, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people just want to rap. You can rap all day, but it's like, how you gonna make your money from rapping? Do you know how you gonna make your money through what you doing? You know what I'm saying? And it just don't, you know, it don't make no sense to me doing rapping or starting a career if you don't know how you gonna generate your revenue or where your revenue gonna come from. So my two advice tips will be perfect your craft, be the best artist you can be, and then, you know, focus on the business. Do them simultaneously if you can, you know what I'm saying? But definitely focus on the business. Make sure that, you know, you ain't getting ripped off in any way, shape, form, or fashion in this business, because it can happen, you know. It ain't never happened to me because I ain't never let it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it can happen though. Them my two advice.
So, like you said, just based on that, like, how do you manage your time? Is there like certain times, like, all right, I'm gonna go to the studio, all right, I'm gonna produce this beat. Like you said, you got a lot going on. You got kids, you got the son on the way. You in the studio, you're producing for other people, producing for yourself.
Right.
And at the same time, you know, you got your meetings and you're trying to get, you know, some bookings and things like that. So.
Yeah. I mean, I manage, me personally, I try to like get up early. You know, ain't no try, I do get up early, you know what I'm saying? Like, for one, even if I was lazy, my kids ain't gonna let me be lazy, period, you know what I'm saying? Cause they up active early in the morning. I take my daughter to school, you know, go straight to the stew or whatever meeting I might have or with my squad or whatever, you know. And I just try to be progressive every day. Like, I don't like being idle. You know what I'm saying? I don't like being idle at all. Like, I don't like not doing nothing productive or being progressive. I can't do it. It don't make sense to me. It feel like I value my time, and I can't sit up here and waste time because life is too short for that, man. But I mean, I just either, you know, I just try to stay ahead of the curve and like plan something the days before, you know.
Yes, yeah.
I run a studio too, you know, so if somebody might hit me up for a session, I might have the studio sessions pre-planned, you know. I might set aside 2 hours just to research, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it might be a certain business idea I'm trying to put together, and I might need to research about it. So I might call my cousin Fresh or you know, AC or anybody from my squad and say, hey, we need to research about this, or I might just do it by myself. And, you know, I just try to stay progressive every day. If I'm not making progress, I feel like that's a setback. Like, even if, you know, I made progress today, tomorrow I don't make no type of progress. I'm just in the house all day, and I make progress the day after that. I feel like that day I didn't do nothing, like the day after when I make progress, I'm bouncing back from that because I didn't do nothing, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I live my life, you know, every day, you know.
It's a good way to go about it. That's kind of like the same thing I tend to do. I usually just wake up, all right, let me go for the gym a little bit. And, all right, I'm about to go edit this video. Let me go hit up one of my friends and try to get this this interview shot type of thing. Right. So it's really, like you said, I write it all down in a journal, and if I miss a day, then I'm a day behind. I'm trying to catch up with what I previously did.
Real talk, yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, most definitely.
And this is one of the questions I didn't even think to ask. I already knew the answer, but for the people who don't know, just where does the name LNS come from?
Man, it's come from when I was young, like 8, 10, you know what I'm saying? Just being around my older cousins. And, you know, it's little word, you know what I'm saying? I can't say that word, you know what I'm saying? But Steve. So it's just like, you know, they'll see me, little Steve, what up, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like 10, they 14, 15, I hung around older, you know, relatives or homies. And I was always like the youngest one, so that's what that name comes. It's just an acronym now, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So for the people who's watching this interview, like they really like your grind, your hustle, and your music as well, like what can they do to support you going forward?
Man, I mean, you know, don't feel forced, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't feel forced to support nothing, you know, you don't feel like it's official or you know, that can touch you musically, you know what I'm saying? But if you do feel, you know, a connection with my music, a connection to the movement and the things that I'm saying, support, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all real, all authentic, you know. I ain't no different from you. I've been through the struggles too, you know what I'm saying? I've been through the trials and the tribulations and everything that everybody else been through, you know what I'm saying? So if you can relate, you know what I'm saying, support. You know, you ain't gonna never get, even when the major success comes, it ain't gonna be no bougie, you know what I'm saying, superficial, you know, materialistic LNS. Like, that'll never happen. And this on record. You know what I'm saying? So like, so 5, 10 years from now, you know what I'm saying, you know, whenever, you know, 3 years or whatever, you know what I'm saying, when I hit, you know, a nationwide, worldwide, you know, status, like we can always look back on this, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, and everything can still be authentic and real, you know. Yeah.
So yeah, just based on like, so you grew up in Elkhart. Just a little bit about your background. Were you born and raised here? Or?
No, I wasn't. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, the west side of Chicago. Yeah, I'm really from Chicago, the west side. I moved down here when I was like 7 or 8, or something like that. Yeah. My mom just didn't, where we from on the 13th of Independence in Chicago, like, that's a rough area, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of violence, a lot of, drugs, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? I seen, some traumatizing things that, kids weren't supposed to see at 5 and 4 and 6 and, ages that young, I seen things that, you ain't supposed to see. My mom didn't want us, raised around that. She wanted, as any mother, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was just being a good mother. She wanted to relocate. She chose Elkhart, Indiana, you know what I'm saying? So, because I had an auntie that lived here who moved from Chicago, and she told her about it. We moved down here, you know what I'm saying? It was a little safer than where we from. But even though Elkhart's small, obviously we still got things that go on here too, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I was born in Chicago, raised in Elkhart, Indiana. My stomping ground is Washington Gardens, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, I actually used to, like, my grandma used to live over at Washington Gardens. Like,
yeah.
When my mom used to live with her, like, I used to actually, like, sleep with my cousin in his room. Like,
yeah.
We have roots there as well.
Right, definitely.
And so I bring that up because not only myself, but a lot of people in the area just like you can relate to your story.
Yeah,
so just
definitely.
What was it? Was it the music that you were focused on? Like, what was it that kept you out of, like, a lot of that negativity that was going on?
Man, the music, I started rapping, you know what I'm saying, and basketball, I was big in basketball too. I'm a hooper, you know what I'm saying? So I was always into the music, but like any kid, any teenager, you know what I'm saying, you can stray away. Mm-hmm. Even though I never stopped with the music, but when I was 14, 15, being rebellious, just out in the street doing stuff, the music, I still was rapping, but I was just, I got sidetracked, you know what I'm saying, with certain things that I was doing in the streets, robbing and, doing, just reckless stuff as a youth, you know what I'm saying, and ultimately that got me sent to prison, at 16, and did 6 years in prison, and I think in prison, I became a man, and I realized, all the loved ones I hurt, I've realized my full potential. I realized a lot of things. I learned more about the world in prison than being free. As ironic as that sound, it sounds crazy, but it's really that deep and really that real. I learned about the world in prison, confined, and I learned about myself as well. So, I stayed determined with my music, wrote all the time. I left prison with like 500-600 raps, songs, 600 songs, and after that, I vowed I can't, go back, and I just stayed focused from there on, So yeah, that's I wasn't perfect. I'm not perfect, That's why I feel like, again, a lot of people can relate to my story and a lot of things that I went through, because a lot of people going through them on a daily basis,
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Because I never met you like before that point. I just met you, when you got out. You was on house arrest, I think.
Yeah.
We were together and we made a documentary a few years back.
Dope documentary too.
So
yeah.
he was like already a completely different person. I'm looking at you. I'm like, man, he's on his grind. Like he's here, he's producing, like mastering songs for other people, and that type of thing. So I was like, he's already on 100. Like I wasn't even like concerned about anything that went on in the past.
Yeah, definitely.
So my next question to you is, where you are now, what advice would you give a younger version of you in order to like make some different decisions,
Right. Honestly, man, like, everything that I went through made me who I am, like, seriously. So I'm not, like, anybody with common sense would say, to them younger selves, if they could, don't do this so you won't go to prison. Like, that's just common sense, you know what I'm saying? But, I don't know. I can't, because it's crazy, because now that I went through the things that I went through, I can't, like, unsee it. Like I can't, when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and I got out when I was 22, like I can't see myself on the street at that age because I've been through what I've been through. Like it's hard for me to even imagine that, you know what I'm saying? Just because my reality was so real. And I think I needed that personally. Like how I was, like I think I needed to go through what I went through in order to think how I think now and to get where I'm going, you know, because my mind state was different, you know. I was always gifted, but I needed that. So I really can't tell my younger self, if I could, you know, I can't really say, you know, I mean, all I could say, if I could tell my younger self something, it would be you live and you learn.
That's true.
You know, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna learn that this is what you shouldn't be doing. Sometimes the best way to learn something is through experience, like, because I had family members and loved ones that told me, hey, don't do this or you're gonna go to prison. Don't, you know what I'm saying, rob anybody. Don't, you know, be in the streets, yada, yada, yada. Right. They gave me sound advice, but I would look at them like, okay, all right, you know what I'm saying, and do what I want to do. So it's like I had some advice, but it ain't no experience, you know, like your own. They experiences couldn't help me. You know, I had to learn from my own, you know, bump in my head, you know. So I couldn't really tell my younger self nothing, but you live and you learn. You know what I'm saying? Take it with a grain of salt, learn from it, and keep going. The thing I would say about that, you know, the people that I put through pain, you know what I'm saying? Like the people that had to suffer from what I was doing, I would, you know, I hate that. I would want to try to prevent that, but like I say, you know, you live and you learn, you know.
Yeah. I like that. You live and you learn because everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, definitely, man. For real.
Yeah. So just what else do you want people to know about LNS? You know, for people who have never heard of you before, or seen you or anything, like if this interview is the first thing that they see about you, what do you want people to know? What is your legacy?
Man, I was determined. You know what I'm saying? I was determined in every aspect that you could think about, like far as when it comes to, you know, success and kicking down the doors and paving the way for people. I was determined, whether it be my loved ones, whether it be, you know, the fans, whether it be a stranger I just met, you know what I'm saying, being able to inspire and motivate people. Like I was determined in every type of way. Determination is everything. You know, I was determined not to fail. I was determined to be the greatest I can be. I was determined to, you know, outwork the competition. You know what I'm saying? So determination, that's a big word. Like if you could sum up, you know what I'm saying? If you could sum me up, I was determined. You know, I'm pretty sure I could think of something else, but yeah, determination, yeah.
Yeah, but like just to sum that all up, this determined person, like I just talking to you for like the past half hour, like I understand like what you've been through. I understand how that made you to where you are, and I also understand like how that's gonna catapult you to where you're gonna be moving forward.
Most definitely.
So the last thing I really want to touch on is just Let There Be. Like just tell people where they can find it and any other plans you got for that the release. Yeah, Let There Be. You're gonna be June 26th, man. Let There Be. You know, June 26th, Let There Be is going to be available everywhere, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, wherever, all digital platforms. It's actually available for pre-order right now, so you can get online, iTunes, and pre-order it right now, man. It's an amazing project. If you love real rap, if you love reality rap, go pre-order it, man. It's gonna be something special. You're gonna be able to connect with it. If you into like hearing about Bentleys and like Rolls Royces and like Ferraris and mansions and drugs or whatever, like you probably wouldn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Or you might. You know what I'm saying? Check it out still. But if you looking for that, it ain't gonna be on Let There Be. You know what I'm saying? But June 26th is gonna be available everywhere, man. We just pushing the music. I'm about, like I say, no more 2-year breaks as of right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's back in the studio. All right. Yeah. Hit him up, see what he's on. Yeah, man. No more 2-year breaks, man. 2 to 3 months every
consistent music, you know, we back full force, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
All right, that's a good way to end it. We back full force.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Let There Be coming in a few weeks here, June 26th.
Yeah,
so
man.
Thank you for speaking with us.
Appreciate you, man.
Man,
Thank you,
appreciate
man.
you.
Most
Thank you.
definitely.